What's up, guys? We uh we still good. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's doing well. Wednesday, May 27th, 9:30 a.m. We're getting close. I probably have about 10 more total hours of film study, and then my research phase is over. So you guys have my underdog of the week. You guys we collectively, so all the JSB insiders, check the Patreon. Check the YouTube members only posts. And to be clear, I just gave you my short term parlay. It's a 5-legger money line paying plus 146. I posted that an hour ago. We got our dog of the week. So our dog is live. I did a breakdown analysis and prediction of our dog of the week. That upload is in the Stats Don't Lie fight prediction playlist. I'm excited about it. You know, when we get our live dogs, baby. That's 2 tickets. You guys have last night we did a collective JSB Insider UFC double dog parlay. Shout out to Mike from Melbourne and shout out to the boss Christos. Those 2 UFC dogs on the same ticket pay plus 329. That's 3 tickets. You guys have a US double that pays plus 119. That's 4 tickets. And then my method of victory plus 105. So, wow, we have 5 tickets already. So there's 5 tickets up and live. Check the Patreon. Check the members only section on YouTube. My book is still only offering a fraction of the fights that a lot of you guys are getting. So that's why you haven't seen my long parlay yet. So I'm going to do a long parlay, which would put us at 6. I'm going to do a quarterly parlay, another one, which will put us at 7. And I might do a UFC triple, which would put us at 8. Stay tuned. If you're not in the Discord, click the link right there. We are at 510 JSB Insiders. We started this in August, so we're approaching 10 months. 510. Our community is growing strong. We are a well-researched, well-versed, well-educated betting community. Day 3 is, like I said, there's still 2 fights. I've uploaded my breakdown prediction analysis of Shock versus Ray. That's up on the channel. I uploaded today my breakdown analysis and prediction of Siko Kettle, South African, versus Charlie Edwards, a Brit. That's up on the channel. I don't have any odds on the Bivol fight. I'm not even getting options on the Bivol fight. I'm torn. I already know I'm taking Stephanie Hahn. Do I need to do another Stats Don't Lie video? Do you guys want me to do a breakdown of Hahn Home 2? If you want me to do it, send me a message. At this stage of the game, I'll pull up the odds. My book is still only giving me. So I like Kurbanov, I like Robesi, I like MJ. You guys asked me about Moose. You guys asked me about Moose and Kaysen. So I put this up in the Discord just now. Moose and Kaysen's a plus 425. He's going to the UK to fight Jurgen Udeja. I don't think he's live, dude. Kaysen's 32 years old. He's never fought past the 5th round. This is his first 12-rounder. It's his biggest step up. I don't think he's live at all. So I don't think Kaysen at plus 425 is live. Lorena versus Merhi, that's another rematch. There's like 3 rematches this weekend. Do you want me to do a breakdown of Stats Don't Lie video on the Lorena Merhi fight? If you do, leave me a message. Fran Hennessy, I thought Aurora was live, but after watching tape, Fran Hennessy should win a points decision. Roman Frest, Tahir Karovic. You guys asked me about that fight. I'm not breaking down a Roman Frest fight. I'm sorry. No offense to Roman. Do you want me to do Azim Claggett? I was initially torn with Azim Claggett. After watching the tape, revisiting Claggett, how he operates, he gets hit way too much. And Azim is just young. He's accurate. He's a sniper. His body punching. I have Azim on the money line at the moment. But if I could get, I'm not getting any props yet on any of these fights. I'm probably gonna play. Man, I know it took Azim 10 rounds to stop Scobie, but I mean, even though Claggett's only been stopped once years ago at 36 years old with that style, we got to start fading the stoppage. It's gonna happen. I think Azim might be the guy to do it. So look at your books. My book isn't offering it. I'm 100% convinced Azim's going to be way too much on the money line. Look, we also have to think about Why are fights being made? What are the puzzle pieces in play? The Brit fans want Dalton Smith versus Adam Azim. You guys should know that by now. That is the fight. Claggett's going to have to go in and stop Azim. It's not going to happen. Claggett, even his output, his last few fights, his punch placement, he's not as accurate as he used to be. He kind of just goes in there, gets hit. He looks more sluggish. He just looks more like a. I said this before a couple of weeks ago in a breakdown. I forget which fighter. When guys who have styles in which they get hit a lot and they're known for being durable, the older they get, they start to look like a wet pasta noodle. You know what I mean? Like if you take a hardened piece of pasta that's not boiled, it's hard. And then you boil it, it looks sluggish. Claggett's whole style as of late looks sluggish. It's only a matter of time. I'm not getting the prop yet, but I'm probably going to roll the dice on a Adam Azim stoppage, probably to the body. So I like that. Desley Robinson, I think these odds are great. I like her a lot against Mary Spencer. Right now, Desley Robinson's $1.50 at 58% return, man. You pair that with another. I mean, I like that. I have Desley on a parlay. The odds, shout out to Australia, and you take Han. That's plus money. I already have Han on a ticket though, and learning from my past experiences, you guys know this. I tend not to put the same fighter on multiple tickets unless I'm absolutely convinced. I'm 98% sure Stephanie Hahn does exactly what she did in the first fight and beats Holly Holm equally as convincing. So my advice to you, because I know there's some boys who are torn. You guys know I like Shock. If you like Savage, take Savage and Hahn on the money line. I'm playing Foster and Hahn. Whichever way you go is plus money. I mean, Savage is the underdog now. You wouldn't you really want. If you like Savage, don't parlay him. Just go heavy on the money line. I think he's going to get outboxed. That being said, welcome. Let's get into this. I'm going to say what's up to everybody. Mike from Melbourne. Team effort. Mike from Melbourne. Boss Christo. We introduced our first ever collaborative parlay, and that was not planned. I had Mike messaging me DMing me. I had the boss messaging me, DMing me. And I was like, you know what? Let's introduce a new ticket. Let's go JSB collab ticket, and that's what our UFC double is paying. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to the boss. You think Hansen is tough enough to go the distance? I was looking at this, Gil. What's up, Gil? Shit. This Gil, my mod, right? This is our moderator. We are in the presence of greatness right now. We got our Discord moderator in the house. Do you think Hansen is tough enough to go the distance? There isn't much on that resume, Gil. I'm sure you've already looked. I looked. You know, I was looking this morning. Let's pull it up. And Serrano hasn't stopped somebody in a few years, but sometimes when you look at here, I'll show you what. When's Serrano's last stoppage? 2024, 2023? Did you guys look? This is no shade. You guys know I grew up in a house of women. You'll never hear me bash women. I used to manage female boxers. I like women's boxing. You know I love the ladies. But Serrano this week, she's not young anymore. This was the first. She's 37. I was watching her this week doing media. This was the first week where I was like, she's starting to look her age, which is gonna happen. We all freaking get old. If we're lucky enough as humans, we will go through this life getting old, withering, and gray, and you know that happens. It's unfortunately for people in the public eye, like a professional famous fighter, you're doing it in front of the world. But this was the first time where I saw Serrano. I was like, she's looking her age. Make that for what you will. I don't think she's gonna lose, but her last stoppage win. Yeah, Stevie Morgan at 135. She's fighting Cheyenne Hansen in a 10-rounder. Look at that face, boy. Where I come from, that's called making the doo-doo face. She's making that boo-boo. She got that doo-doo face, boy. But when you're When you're looking at who she's fought, not a lot there. Flor Rodriguez, but then you dissect who Flor Rodriguez fought, not a lot there. So maybe. I'm not getting the props. Yeah, I like Desley now. Man, I got sold on Desley. I did some research, did some film study. Um, I think she's going to be too much. Any odds on Bevo? I'm not even getting it on my books. Brandon, what's up, Johnny? What's up, chat? Shock and Han. Yeah, let's go. I need it. I need those two as well. Shock and Han will close out our quarterly parlay that we started in April, like plus 600, which I went big on. Shock and Han I have on a double, which I've gone full unit on. So I'm right there with you, Brandon. Let's go. We're due. Let's go. Azim Claggett, I think we talked about it. I'm just catching up to the chat. Mike, I like Azim there. Props are up on Bet365. I'll have a look at it. Fight fan in the house. Johnny, you're wild, dude. What are you talking? I didn't do nothing, man. You guys are crazy. I didn't do nothing. That's your boy Masterminds out here acting crazy. Masterminds is the one acting crazy. That wasn't a stunt, man. I put up the Stats Don't Lie video of Psycho Kettle versus Charlie. He shared it and then messaged me. And then he was asking me about the fight. He was like, who's good? I was like, I got, and then it turned into our whole Discord messaging him. And let's go. If you don't know what we're talking about, go to the Discord. You'll see what we're talking about. Psycho is our boy. I'm going heavy on the South African, man. I like calling Nathan his coach. I know, I don't know his coach personally. Look, I do have to mention something to you boys. Never mind. I'm going to keep it to myself. You never want to be that dude who says they know everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know of a lot of people. Some people know who I am. But if you don't have my phone number in your phone, you don't know me. And if I don't have your phone number in my phone, I don't know you. That's the best way to put it, right? That won't make sense to you, but in this day and age of social media, there's a lot of people running around out there saying they know everybody. Colin Nathan is Psycho's coach. I know of Colin Nathan. I don't know him personally. I know fighters who've trained under him. He's a good coach. So I like Seiko. He pronounces it Seiko. I like calling him Psycho. I like Psycho Kettle, and you pronounce his last name like a kettle of coffee, a kettle of tea. Kettle. Seiko Kettle. I like it. He's 5'10". He's a 5 foot dude. The kid is a 5'10", 115 pounder, which is insane. So he's going to have a 4-inch height advantage, 4-inch reach advantage. He's an aggressive South African. It's not his first time traveling abroad as a B-side. We've watched Seiko fight. The JSB Discord will know about Seiko Kettle. We watched him fight against Rene Calito in Mexico. So, and that was a close fight. I mean, he lost the decision, and then we saw Calito. It was either for a world title or world title eliminator, fought Willibaldo Garcia, who is the world champion. So just because the average fight fan haven't heard of somebody doesn't mean that guy isn't world level. I think Seiko Kettle's been flirting at the world level for a few years now. This is his chance. He's 31 years old. Charlie Edwards is 33. Charlie Edwards got stopped. You got to remember, 2016, Charlie Edwards was 23 years old in his first step up. I thought it was too big of a step up. But whoever was moving him when he was 23 paired him up against John Casimiro. Look, what 23-year-old kid is going to say no to a world title shot? He says yes, and he gets stopped. Rebuilds himself, and then in he became a champion, I think, in 2018. And then in 2019, I mean, it was deemed a no contest, but he got stopped again against Francisco Rivera. might have been his name. Was it Francisco Rafael Rivera, one of those guys? And it was he gets stopped. He's getting beat up, and then he gets hit when he's down, and they call it a no contest. Watch that fight. It wasn't good. When you watch young Charlie Edwards, he was way more aggressive. He was confident. He was cocky. He would punch with you. It happens in boxing. You get domesticated. Sometimes you get domesticated in a fight. Sometimes you get domesticated in your career and you're forced to change some things. I expect Kiki Torres to change some things. It's a perfect example. You know, walking into an uppercut, getting stopped because you don't set anything up. You got to change some things. Charlie Edwards had to change some things. He now is a defensively minded guy. He doesn't like punching with his opponents. Seiko Kettle is going to be pressuring him the entire time. He's an aggressive guy. I think stylistically, if you didn't watch my breakdown, and if you don't know, the cat's out the bag, Seiko Kettle is my dog of the week. I didn't pick a dog last week. I didn't bet on a dog last week. So our 15 weeks straight is still live. Our streak is still live, baby. Our last dog was 2 weeks ago when we picked his countryman, Kusei, at plus 245 to beat Melvin Jerusalem. I'm rolling with that South African energy. I think that Kettle is going to jump out to an early lead. I think he's going to win rounds early. I think he's going to put Charlie. He's going to have to win convincingly. If he's going to win on the card, it's going to have to be convincingly. It's in a cool little venue, Bethnal Green, York Hall. I've always wanted to see a fight at York Hall. When I was managing Lynn Sandstrom in 2021, she fought a Swedish girl at York Hall, and I couldn't travel due to COVID. I couldn't leave Sydney, but she traveled. And my branding is all on her fight kit, that fight. That was one of the fights where you'd see my branding on her gear. But I remember how disappointed I was I didn't get to go to that fight. But I've always wanted to see York Hall. You know, it's what British boxing is, dude. These little fight cards in these little halls, man. And so I feel Kettle's going to jump out to an early lead. Charlie's going to have to get desperate. Kettle could punch. I might play the stoppage. I don't know yet. We'll see. I'm not getting props. Let's see if we get props on it. And hold on. I also want to give a shout out to everybody in our group, the JSB Insiders. Shout out to Barry Unboxing. Shout out to Masterminds. Shout out to there's some Twitter boys in there who do these excellent breakdowns on Twitter. If I forget your name, I apologize. But our group, our Discord, our JSB Insider group is filled with guys who research boxing just like me. My modality, my is obviously video. Some of the boys do Twitter. Some of the boys do these other sites that you could write your predictions on. What is it called? Double Stack or another website, whatever it is. Nobody is 100% accurate. Nobody gets them right, but it's the effort the boys put into it. I say that because I'm watching some guys break down fights, right, on YouTube before I went live. They're not even trying to do research. These guys are just literally going off of what BoxRec says or what the odds are saying, and then they pick a winner, and then that's it. They don't talk about strategy. They don't talk about path to victory. They don't talk about style. They don't talk about coaching. They don't talk about none of it. So it reminded me of you guys because you guys put so much freaking effort into this. It's not just me. And, you know, because we're students of the game. You know, I uploaded my prediction of Kettle versus Edwards, but that doesn't mean I'm done. I go on YouTube and I'm like, all right, who else did a breakdown of Kettle? This is afterwards. I don't like watching the breakdowns prior because I never want anybody else's opinion to affect what I see. So what I tend to do is after I upload and I do all the work, I'll then see, all right, what's YouTube saying? And I'm watching people picking Charlie, and they're not even telling me why they're picking Charlie. Obviously, a lot of them have British accents, and their videos are just, you know, them sitting at their laptop, which is fine. But they're not. Why is he going to win? And the video just ends, and I'm like, what the? And it just made me think about our group. You guys put a lot of energy and effort in this, man. I salute. You guys make me better. It's definitely a team effort. So shout out to the Discord. Serrano by knockout. I think that's fair. I think Serrano, I'm not getting it yet, but I think that's fair. Let's pull up before I get too far ahead. We were talking about okay, so I'm already playing. So that last name is pronounced like the kettle of tea. That's another thing. Guys don't even put energy or effort into pronouncing names right. Siko Kettle. Siko Nekadaholi. Chico and Quotowell. He's what is he, Native American now? So if you like Charlie, shout out to Charlie Edwards. Really, really impossible to become a world champion in boxing. He's done that. Shout out to Charlie Edwards. If you like him, he's going to win on points. He's not going to stop Siko. So I give you both sides of the game. If you like Charlie, you're getting plus money. I would take Charlie on points. Plus 110. You get to double your money. If you like Siko, Psycho, like no bitch at. Every time I see that name, I think of that song by the Loonies. Or was it the Click or the Loonies? Psycho, like no bitch ass mother. You're already at plus 135 on the money line. I might do a freaking Hail Mary prop. I might take Psycho to stop him. He could punch. He could punch and he's accurate and there's volume there. So I'm not saying I'm playing that yet. I might. Who knows? If the boys come in, I have a little parlay with the boys. Like MJ is on it. Kurbanov is on it. If those boys come in, I might get a little frisky and take a prop on that fight. Let me know what you guys are taking there. Guys, as you're tapping in, like the video for B-Vol. That's what I wanted. B-Vol knockout, Julius. I don't know if I'm not even getting the B-Vol fight, guys. So just so you know, I'll show you the fights I'm getting. This is it. I like Kurbanov. I like Robesi. I like MJ. I like Siko. You guys told me to watch the Will Harrison tape. I haven't watched it yet. I think Jurgen at 20% return is safe here. Kaysen is just he's 14-0, 12 knockouts. I told you about that. He's a C-level domestic American guy, 32 years old. If you want to add the $120, I like it. The Kevin Lorena bet, I don't have action on this yet. It's a rematch. Fran Hennessy, we talked about. Yeah, see, you guys, Dimitri Bivol isn't even on my page. So I'm not getting Bivol. Serrano knockout. That's not, let's see, it's Serrano. What's the knockout paying? It's really tough to play $1.20. You know what I mean? This is probably fight fan. It's probably how it goes. But look, the savage in me, like, and you guys will talk shit. You know, I don't mind. The JSB, we're becoming a tight knit community. So when I say the haters will talk shit if I take Serrano on points at plus 380. But the real ones know that's really the only bet. If you're gonna bet this fight, are we really betting a knockout at $1.20? You know what I mean? The casuals, they'll see that just like last week, how I took Mimi by knockout. Mimi on points was only $1.18. Mimi on points was $1.18, you know, to beat May Solomon. So that's obviously the logic, Mimi on points, but we're gamblers. We're not here to freaking, you know what I'm saying? So this is another one. It's either a no bet or it's Amanda on points. That's the move. I'm sorry. Amanda is either a no bet or we got to shake them up. And we're taking Amanda on points because the knockout's $1.20. We got to find value. 20% return on a method of victory, boys and girls. Shout out to Toya. Shout out to Blessings. There's no value. We got to find value. So you guys, I want you to leave these sessions knowing that the difference between a no bet, no value, and a value play. If you really want to bet Amanda Serrano, and your, bankroll isn't that. If you don't have a heavy bankroll, take Amanda on points because you're not gonna, or it's a no bet, or it's a no bet. That's how I look at that fight. Serrano over 4.5. Okay, and shout out to the chat. Shout out to Adu because this is where I lean on you guys. I didn't even think about this. See, I'm not an over and under guy. I'm not an over and under guy, but an 80% return on Amanda Serrano. Now we're talking. See, this is where I'm learning. As of this August, I was not well versed in the strategy of betting. I was well versed in the sport of boxing and gambling. There's a big difference between gambling and strategic betting. Hopefully you guys understand that. Obviously, boxing was my wheelhouse, lifelong gambler, but I never knew the strategy of betting until I started this, and you guys have taught me. And this comment right here by Adu, strategy of betting. Let's see if Serrano over 4. I mean, are these 2-minute rounds? I mean, her opponent's what, 17-2? She's gonna be tough, right? Okay, so you're saying over 4.5. Wow. Look, Amanda 6 through 10 is 430, but she still has to get the stoppage, right? So if you like Amanda by stoppage 6 through 10, that's plus 330. All the money is coming on so all the money is coming in on Amanda by early stoppage. 64% return, which isn't bad. This is where shit gets so interesting and stressful. This is where shit gets. I would probably, and once again, this is where I would probably take Amanda 6 through 10 at plus 330. If I'm playing a prop, I wouldn't want to parlay Amanda 1 through 5 with anything, would you? At 64%? Adu, what are you playing? One say, what's up, baby? Oh, you are Mastermind B. Now I got you, brother. My man. Lorena fight. All right, you want me to break down the Lorena fight? Top Dog Toya in the house. Bando boys, long ticket's still good. Long ticket still, and Savage is up in his defensive train, but I believe he'll shock you enough. Okay, so yep, our long ticket is still good. So you like Shock to win by stoppage. Let's see what it's paying. Do you got action on Shock by stoppage? Or are we just riffing? Because it is only Wednesday. By tomorrow, I expect your boots to be dug in, boys and girls. It's still only Wednesday and Tuesday in America, so we're still riffing off of each other. But by tomorrow, the boots should probably start to get dug in. Bando boys, do you have action on that stoppage? I don't hear a lot of people saying shocked by stoppage. That's why. And the books haven't moved at all, which is great. I like when the books stay steady, just for my own anxiety. I don't really care when they move too much, but it's the Discord that starts getting crazy. And 55% of you guys are in North America, and I'm in Australia, so I'll go to bed, and a whole day of activity in the Discord will take place, and then I wake up at 6 a.m. and shit has gone through the roof because odds have shifted. So those money line odds have been the same. I haven't really. Wow, plus 525. That's I mean, look, bro. At plus 525, I could sell you on that. You know what I'm saying? At plus 525, I could paint you an outcome path to victory for stoppage for Shock. It just once again depends on. We want to be consistently winning. We don't want to be consistently gambling. I think consistently gambling is throwing money away. Consistently winning is betting strategically, okay? So if you're up and you're like for instance, from January, February, March, and April, I was on freaking fire. And because I was on such a hot streak, it was enabling me to take risks. And even my risks were winning. So I was on like a crazy run. Now, May, I've been humbled. It hasn't been all bad, but it's been up and down. It's been consistent. We've won every week, but we haven't won like we were winning January, February, March, and April. I say that because I have to get, I have to turn the dials a bit back and get back to betting strategically. Do you see what I'm saying? But if you're up and you're on a heater, why not take shock at plus 525 by stoppage? You know what I mean? So it all comes down to where your bank money's at, where your consistency is at. Are you on a run or do you need a win? These should all be parts of your conversation. It should never just be, hey, there's boxing this weekend. Who's the underdog? Let me throw money at it, see if it wins. And then if it wins, I post like, no, dude, this is not what we need to bet strategically. Top Dog Toya, holla at your boy. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. What's up, Playboy? Now that Cleveland got eliminated, let's get down to some boxing. What fight are you looking forward to coming up in the future? Abdullah Mason versus Joe Cordina. Jaron Ennis versus Xander Zayas. Tim Tszyu versus Errol Spence. I wish I had a space shuttle. I'd go to all three. I'm only going to be able to... I'm going to Tszyu versus Spence because it's here in Sydney. But my hometown's Northeast Ohio. I wish I had a space shuttle. I'd go to all these fights. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her. I wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" Impala. I wish I was like 6'9" so I could get with Leona because she don't know me, but she's really fine. Yeah, I wish I had a rocket ship. Smooth. What's up, Smooth? What's up, player? Is a stoppage for Stephanie Hahn likely? But see, this is where I'm going. Boss Cristo. If you're up, play it. Look at these odds. It can happen, dude. Stephanie Hahn was beating the brakes off of Holly in their first fight. She was. Stephanie Hahn was doing everything she wanted to do against Holly in that first fight. You're preaching to the choir here. I love British boxing. I like in order to... You have to really know the history of boxing, history of the sport to understand British boxing, to understand what fighting at York Hall means. Bethnal Green, these little sort of cards put together as the come up. You know what I'm saying? Not everything could be main event pay-per-view events. You got to have the come up. These are like the come up. And so it's fun, man. It's fun. The crowds. Azim fought. Let's go. Randver, is that plus money? It should. Shock. $1.60. Yeah, that's plus money. Shock set. Let's do that real quick. Just for so Shock. Azim. Shout out. I'm glad Robesi's fighting again, man. Damn, Azim's odds are crashing. Okay, that puts us at double our money. Randver, go, that's doubling your... What else can we ask for other than doubling our money? Yeah, one of my favorite rap groups. Gil. Okay, so Gil's at... I'm not sold on Yokasta Valle. Juarez, these are both champions. Juarez is the belt holder. This is for Juarez's belt. She's a 3-1 dog. I don't think Yokasta Valle should ever be a 3-1 favorite. I'm going to leave it at that. I currently don't have action on this fight, but I have to tell you, this is where I stand on this, Gil. 2 weeks ago, we hit 6 tickets. Last week, we hit 1, 2, if you're counting our long parlay, so we'll say 2. If last week we would have hit 5 tickets, if I would have hit 5, if things would have gone a little bit in our favor last week and not the other way, like if Bakary would have got the decision or so-and-so would have won by points instead of knockout, etc., I'd be taking Juarez as the dog. Just so you understand my mindset and how I'm wired when I'm doing these picks. As of now, I don't have action on this fight. I'm not going to take Valley on the money line. If this were March and we were on that run, I would be taking Juarez. You know what I'm saying? Even December, we've been on so we've had a little bit of a heat check, which is still fine. We haven't gotten shut out any weeks, We it's like that Denzel meme. I'm leaving here with something. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like we gonna at least get one. We gonna leave here with something. But it's either no bet or Juarez on the money line for me. I don't rate you Valley. I think she's gonna get outworked. I think Juarez has more pressure, more volume. She is the champion. She's the A side. Valley's let me down before, dude. She's on my fade list. Kevin, hey bros, your prop of the week and dollar of the week, a full unit each. Yes. Yeah, it is. I didn't go full unit on the short parlay this week. I did go full on my dog, and that's me playing numbers because when we hit Kusei 2 weeks ago, that was the only ticket I went full on and it hit. So that had me up nicely. It's a good question. Prop of the week is shock on points. Yeah, I did go full unit. But Kevin, it's a good question because I got my shout out to Nick, man. Shout out to Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad he just messaged me. He watched the breakdown on Seco. He's going 2 units. Yeah, so Nick's going 2 units on Seco. And then a half unit. Who Ozzy? Am I missing something? Ozzy, is there an Osborne fighting? He said Ozzy too. He's 3-minute rounds for Amanda. So what do you like? Over 5 or under 5? I'm learning, man. Fresh BX. Look, guys, you guys have never once heard me sit here and said I'm the best at this. You guys have never once heard me sit here and say I know more than you. You've never once heard me sit here and say I'm a genius. People say some outlandish stuff on the internet. The one thing, and I clown. Look, I'm a jokester. I'll clown. If anything, I'm gonna make myself look like lesser than any. I'm not gonna hype myself up. I don't care about you guys thinking. I don't care about what anybody thinks of me. I know who I am. Personal sovereignty. You know what I'm saying? So I have no problem sitting here saying that I'm still learning. The over and under thing wasn't even a thing until you guys we started this in August. He's not an over and under better. Don't limit yourself, but bet when you're confident. Yeah, I'm learning. And I have no problem saying I don't know. I talk about this all the time, this phase of my life. And the older you guys get, you're going to have multiple phases of your lives. I used to work for a leadership and personal development company out of Las Vegas. It's what I went to grad school for. I have a master's degree in leadership and personal development. And I talk about this all the time. And there's 5 different levels of leadership. And big Fortune 500 companies would pay the company I work for to come into their business and work with their CEOs, CFOs, people aligned with top positions and take them through our training. It was, 3-4 days of training. And one of those elements was the one of the greatest signs of being a good leader is saying that you don't know something. So it's one of these things when I see people online who proclaim themselves as being experts or geniuses or the best at something, I instantly know that that's an insecure person. That's a sign of insecurity. I have no problem saying I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know. I know a little bit about boxing. I know a little bit about boxing, but there's a lot to learn. So the over and under thing, man, our chat is filled with guys who are over and under bettors. So if you're interested in over and unders, just go to the Discord and ask the boys. Okay, so I'm going 4 to 6. You guys had me thinking now, dude. So Toya, you would go 1 to 6 because I wasn't gonna bet Serrano, and now you guys have. I might do a Serrano over under bet because the chat. Okay. So you're saying, Toya, if you had 1 through 6 at those odds, that's what you would take. People don't. Toya's a sneaky sharp, man. People be sleeping. Okay. Oh, so you would say you would go 1 if I had 1 through 6, you would take it, not 6 through 10. Okay, so nobody sees this going late. Because that is, dude, that is like dangling a diamond plus 330. So I'm probably not going to play it. Raymond Ford's winning this fight. Why are you guys always doubting? always doubting. I just don't think Raymond Ford's a better boxer than Shock. I don't think Raymond Ford. I thought Raymond Ford, he lost to Nick Ball. He's had a couple close fights that went his way. He didn't look good. You think Raymond Ford looked good against? He just hasn't looked good to me. He's shorter. He's smaller. He relies on his speed. He's one of these guys who was so athletically gifted that he's kind of skipped corners on actually learning the sweet science. When we're talking about one of the best fighters in the world right now, living, breathing in the whole world at 130 pounds, we're talking about Shock Foster. His countering, his speed, his timing, his precision, his accuracy, even his footwork, his tempo. Raymond Ford's feet are fast, but he has bad footwork. This is a thing where people think that you have to be moving around the entire ring to have good footwork. No. Efficiency, efficient footwork. Does he waste? Raymond Ford wastes a lot of movement. He doesn't have an efficient style. And he couldn't beat a base level Nick Ball, dude. I think Shock is going to make this easy. I think it's going to go belt to ass 8-4. And he's catching Shock in his prime. Shock, this is another thing. Shock is in his prime. He's fully developed. He's fully mature in his style. He's at the he's peaking right now. There's nobody in the world that would beat him right now. He's peaking, right? I'm not saying Raymond Ford at 27. I think Raymond Ford will be better at 30. Maybe 29, 20. I think if they fought in 2 years, it might be a little bit different. But right now, the timing, it's not on Ray Ford's side. He's afraid to sit down on his punches. He doesn't trust his power. His feet are too impatient. He doesn't set any power shots up. He wastes a lot of energy. And his accuracy, I don't really see, if you remove the hand speed, anything he does in a boxing ring better than Shock Foster. Shock, UD Ford can take a punch. There you go. My family friend is George Mangos. I've watched Mangos fight. Aussie, regional guy. I think I watched George when he was fighting in that regional out of the eastern part of Australia. Shout out to Lockjaw. I used to do a lot of MMA interviews, and I think George might have fought my boy Lockjaw back in the day. Always bummed that Lockjaw never made it to the UFC. He should have. I got 4 money line. He could stop. He could stomp him. Wow. You see him winning more. You see him winning rounds against Shock Foster. Raymond Ford doesn't stop anybody. Raymond Ford didn't punch at 126. You think he's punching at 130? He's not a puncher. All of a sudden he's gonna stop Shock Foster? What are we talking about here? Do you guys watch boxing? Do you watch Shock Foster box? Do you know how he boxes? Do you know how big he is? Do you know how long he is? Do you know about his jab? Do you know about his timing? We think that Raymond Ford's gonna stop him? What are we talking about? I think Amanda 4-6. Johnny did it again with the odd shift, man. What shifted? Tell me, come on. Tell me the South African didn't shift. Did the South African shift? Not yet. Not yet. 3-minute rounds. Oh, Abdullah Mason. I think Cordina is well-rounded, well-versed. Cordina is like an educator in there. He could box. He's world-class. Joe Cordina is a really, really good boxer. I just think Abdullah Mason's one of the ones. And maybe I'm biased because I grew up in Northeast Ohio. I think Abdullah Mason's one of the best in the world. I don't see many people even competing with him at 135. And he's only 21, 22 years old. His punching power, the thing that separates Abdullah Mason is his willingness to be in a fight, that heart, how determined he is. Whenever the knock on a young fighter is that the critics say that he should be a little less willing to fight, and then they ask him that, and he's like, what are you talking about? I'm a boxer. He's like, I put a show on for my family and for my fans. You're telling me I'm not going to This is who Abdullah Mason is, dude. You're not going to change it. It's like telling Chico Corrales to change the way he fights. It's like telling Arturo Gatti to change his style. Some guys are just born with it, and Abdullah Mason's one of those ones. It just happens to be Abdullah Mason also was born with world-class hand speed. Damn, he's a joy to watch. Hands down, one of my favorite fighters. I try not to cheer for fighters because I bet on the sport, and I think it does a disservice to our group. You guys know that. I always talk about I'm a fan of the sport. I'm not a fan of any fighters. But being born and raised in Northeast Ohio, it's hard not to be an Abdullah Mason fan. And, you know, it's hard not to be a Tiger Johnson. I'm a big Tiger Johnson guy. And he's won us money. Tigers on that card. Shushu Carrington. Shout out to Brownsville, New York. He's on that card. If I had an airplane, I would 100% go to that Cleveland card. If you guys are in the Midwest, Northeast Ohio, eastern part of the U.S., go to Cleveland, Ohio, man. There's a good night scene. The nightclub scene's fun there. The bar scene's fun. The river, the lake. Man, Cleveland's sneaky fun at night, too. As long as you know who don't go to the wrong neighborhoods and you maybe have a local with you, have somebody who knows the area, you'll have a good time in the land. Think about back in the day. I'll sing Bone all day long. I wouldn't take either, but stoppage is safe bet as a money line because the odds are good. Getting tricky might cost you. That's right, BX. It's likely going the distance. That's right. That's what I'm saying. When I'm up, when I'm on a roll, when I'm on a heater, and this is like everyone, you could take a little bit more risks. It's like investing. It's like in anything that involves equity. It's anything that involves equity. You could take a little bit more risks when things are going well. The degenerates, though, don't know how to scale back. Being a consistent, successful bettor, knowing how to scale, SCALE, throughout the year matters. Knowing when to scale down or scale up. Take risks versus being a little bit more conservative with your approach. This week, I'm being a little bit more conservative. I got taken behind the woodshed last week. Luck just didn't go my way. I won a few, lost more than I won, and I'm being a little bit more conservative. If I was on a heater, like I was saying, I would take Juarez at plus 300. I don't think your Castavali should ever be a 3-1 favorite in a world title fight. What's up, Boaj? Azim by decision and shock by decision. Yep, I love shock by decision. I have action on shock by decision. I have Azim on the money line on a ticket. My book isn't giving me props on that yet. The more I watch Steve Claggett, shout out to Steve Claggett. I've covered him on the channel for years. He's almost a 20-year pro. What's his best win? Miguel Medueno. What's his best loss? Teofimo Lopez. So he's a guy who puts his hand up to fight everybody. I think he has 50 career fights, 40 pro wins, has a lot of knockouts, 40 wins, 28 knockouts. I think he's been stopped one time early on in his career. High volume guy. His style, he's going to be on his front foot. Similar to almost like a Mexican style, Canadian-Mexican style, you can call it. Cuts the ring off, forces you to fight half of the ring, and he relies on getting hit a lot. The thing about that style, like I said, it never ages well. And his fights as of late, he looks a little bit soggy to me. He looks like he's ready to go. And Adam could punch. Adam's a good body puncher. And he looks for the body punches. I think Azim is going to go out there wanting to prove something. The reason, don't get it twisted, the reason why this fight was made is because Claggett took Teofimo Lopez the distance. That's why this fight was made. That, and they want Adam Azim to fight Dalton Smith, which I would love that fight. That's a great fight domestically for the Brits and internationally for the 140-pound division. But if Azim could go in there and stop Claggett, a guy that Teo couldn't stop, you know that's a narrative they're going to run with. Boxer. He's a boxer guy. I think Ben Shalom. So Azim's promoted by Ben Shalom and boxer. And that's why he's bringing, and Claggett's a guy he travels. He's traveled his entire career. It's crazy that he's 36. He's been a pro almost 20 years. Spencer and Valley, both overs are safe. Yeah, we're talking about the females. I think those fights are going over. But Cody, you seem like you're an over guy. I'm not an over guy. Thomas, shock losing this for He don't have the power to keep. What are you talking about? He's the bigger guy. Bro, come on, man. You must be new to our channel. You would know this. Raymond Ford is moving up. Raymond Ford is the one who can't punch. Raymond Ford is the one with small brittle hands. Shock Foster is the bigger dude. He's a massive 130 guy. Foster could easily be fighting at 135. Raymond Ford's a guy who just recently lost a fight at 126 to Nick Ball. Nick Ball's a guy who went life and death with Sammy Goodman, a 122 fighter from Australia. Goodman was winning middle of the late rounds, and then Nick Ball's a guy that Brandon Figueroa knocked out. I told you Figueroa would knock him out. We won plus 400, something crazy. So my point is, Raymond Ford is not a puncher. He wasn't a puncher at 26. He's not a puncher at 30. Don't get twisted because of his nickname. I was telling the boys this last night on my live stream. Don't call him Savage. You got a lot of guys get in boxing get honey-dicked by a fighter's nickname, and it's no fault to you guys, but I don't expect everybody to watch as much tape as we do. I don't expect everybody to know what setups are, what method of victories are, or how fights or outcomes are. Raymond Ford is not a puncher. He's not a puncher. He's a guy who relies on his world-class hand speed, his pressure, and volume. Shock Foster is a great counterpuncher with great timing and power. And he's the bigger guy. He's the longer guy. He's the more efficient guy with his movement. If anyone gets a stoppage, it's going to be Shock stopping Ford. Johnny, ain't you worried about Shock? Ain't going to throw enough punch. So I'm not worried about the volume because when you look at the statistics and if you watch my breakdown, both fighters over the last 3 fights average between 50 and 60 punches per round. So I talked about this in my breakdown. This is not true. This is revisionist history. Look, you know the internet's existed. You know they have a thing called the internet. So on average, Raymond Ford averages about 53 punches per round as a technical southpaw. He typically fights at a measured, calculated pace rather than overwhelming opponents. It's Raymond Ford who disappears sometimes with his output. Let's see what Shock, how many punches per round does. So 53. So 35 to 65. His last 3 fights, he's upped the volume. But more importantly, it's not always about volume. If we were judging a fight on who throws more punches per round, William Zepeda would have beat Shakur-Stevenson. William Zepeda is known for massive output, massive volume. And if that were the case, he would have beat Shakur. But that wasn't the case because timing, precision, and counterboxing will always trump volume and pressure. And you know what trumps speed and power? Timing. In boxing, timing over everything. And Shock Foster has some of the best timing in the division, let alone in boxing. Raymond Ford's timing doesn't have good timing. He just has really good hand speed. World Cup fever. The only time I ever watch soccer is during the World Cup. I remember my favorite World Cup of all time was when the Netherlands and Germany made it to the finals. The Netherlands had a guy named Van Persie and a guy named Robin, and Germany wore all black, and it was like watching like um, uh, a showboating basketball team versus a really disciplined defensive team. And I remember the Ivory Coast made it out the first round that year. I think they had Drogba. But I'm like a soccer casual. I don't watch. I only watch during the World Cup, and the reason is I like anything that's mastered. So I'm a fan of life mastery at anything. I'll watch somebody shoot pool. There's a guy from the Philippines. I used to watch him on YouTube. Um, Something Fernandez. I can't remember his last name. I would watch his pool. He would just run tables or archery or golf or any like I'd watch Andre Agassi. I'd watch Tiger Wood, but I'm not a golf fan. I'm not a pool fan. I'm not a tennis fan. I like mastery. And World Cup soccer is fun. And I like the crowd. And I'm a big energy guy. So I'm not getting this fight, Gil. You must be, you must be talking to Breaking Bad because I don't have Osborne and Cooper, but I know Breaking Bad says so when Breaking Bad says he likes Ozzy, it must be James Osborne. Let's see who this is. That fool got one of them faces you just want to punch. He got a face that looks like a thumb. Hold up. Why does this cat look like... and he's making... It's my brother. That's my brother. What would I say Ford's chances are in this fight? Raymond Ford, I'd say 60-40. I say 60-40. If and this is only if Shock Foster got old all of a sudden. Because people like to sort of have revisionist history. They're like, oh, Stephen Fulton was done. What are you talking about, dude? Stephen Fulton was coming off a career resurging performance, which got him the Shock Foster fight. Before he fought Shock, the fight before that, Fulton looked exceptional. Against Figueroa, mind you. Against Brandon. See, this is what drives me insane about boxing fans, is people forget. And thank God they forget. Because Fulton looks great against Figueroa, which then propelled the odds makers to make Figueroa a 4-1 underdog against Nick Ball, based off of what he looked like against Fulton. And my team, we all picked Figueroa as a plus 300. And some of us were crazy enough to take the plus 600 by knockout. And he did. And we hit that. We nailed that. We predicted that. And then all of a sudden, so Cool Boy Steph looks great against Figgy. And then he goes up against Shock and he gets his ass beat. Gets the brakes beaten off of him. Literally, Michael Irvin took his belt off and that meme was outside the ring. And Foster looked absolutely world class. And now people are like, oh, but he ain't gonna do that to Ray Savage. He ain't gonna do that to Ray though. What are you talking about? Why? Why not? If that's the same version, which there's no reason it shouldn't be, Shock Foster's gonna beat the brakes off of Ray Ford. Ray Ford's just not at that level. He's not developed yet. He has areas in his game that he has flaws. Shock Foster is a precision boxer. This guy is going to be able to make Raymond Ford pay for those mistakes when he's coming in, when he's not setting jabs up, when he's exiting on the center line, when he's leaving his chin high. Amanda Serrano by decision. The boys like Serrano by decision is +4 something, so jump on it. Foster by knockout, Holly to be stopped. Yeah, but retro. When's the last time you hit one of those? Look, like I said an hour, 20 minutes ago on this stream, if last week was the week before, I would do a cowboy bet. I'm not a cowboy better unless I'm on a heater. Otterbeck is not a killer. He was getting beat up in that fight, and he needed a last-second miracle. That fight happened years ago. He needed a last-second knockout. What are you talking? He was losing that fight. Thomas, where are you from? I guarantee Thomas is from the Illidale. What city are you from? In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground. That's where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cooling, all shooting some b-ball outside the school. When a couple of guys, they were up to no good. Started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight. My mom got scared. She said, you're moving with your auntie. And that's where he's from. He's from the Illidale. Don't get it twisted. He's going to be, I'm from Philly. I'm from Philly. We out here. We in these streets, though. Shock Foster's about to beat that ass. Han Hawley also... Look, we all know I love the ladies. But the one thing I wish they would do is just 2-minute rounds. I just wish they would do 2-minute rounds. I love me some ladies. Shoot. But the 3-minute rounds, though, it's just a different... I don't know. I wish it was 2-minute rounds. Oh, the Beck was unproven. Foster got Fulton, Hobson. Yeah. Julius, man. You know I'm already dug in, Julius. You know I'm already dug in. Abdullah got real potential. I ain't got too many of these dudes I like. This actually makes to be clear. New York and fresh. Aren't you a New York fan? Boston wins every time his opponent comes up from 26. Great stat. Y'all keep a track? Julius is one of our snipers. Odebeck. Thomas Piercy, I guarantee you he's from Philly. I guarantee you, Thomas. Where are you from? Azim, that's the fight. And these are what the boys are talking about in the UK. The boys in the UK are saying that that's the fight. Adam Azim versus Dalton Smith. You think he throw enough? Man, you are on that punch count, boy. My man loves that punch count, man. You probably love William Zepeda. You love fighters with high output. You probably don't like Shakur. Tipkin, appreciate you. Let's go. Don in the house. Look at the big fella. Amanda, that's the value play. The knockout's only $120, Don. You know what I'm saying? Timothy J. Briones. What's up, TJB? 145. Join the club, baby. You're preaching to the choir. You see a draw. It's in Houston, too. H-Town. Somebody rockin', knocking the boots. If you don't mind, I do you just fine. I can be a part-time lover. Say you will, say you will. If you don't know that reference, look it up. H-Town. One of probably my favorite R&B groups. They're from Houston. Shock is from Houston. This fight's in Houston. He's going to get the A-side love. Politics are a real thing. Even if it was a wayside, Shock's going to win 8-4, 9-3. You're making my point. Give me more of a reason to take him by knockout. Yes, I'm taking him heavy. Let's go, Bando. Yeah, I like Mayweather Maidano. Floyd's timing and precision beats Maidano's volume. Timing over everything, guys. In boxing, timing is that number one thing when you're looking at, matchmaking or who's going to win. I'm not saying Foster can't win this fight. I don't know. This ain't going to be easy. I think it's going to be easy. Robin Van Persie. So what did I say? Von Persie and Robin. Yeah. See, I don't even watch soccer. I was right. I remember those names. That was a fun team. The Dutch. For one World Cup, I was cheering for the Netherlands. Hennessy upset alert. See, Tipkin, I thought she was too, but I looked at the Italian. There's not a lot there. Yeah, I think Hennessy's a future fade. I think Hennessy lost 2 fights ago. She was gifted a decision 2 fights ago. I agree. Oh, so Tipkin loves she equals Hennessy. She's cute. I like volume punchers though. Yeah, it's all good, brother. And I like counter boxers because as a kid I had to be a counter. I was a counter boxer, so I like Pernell Whitaker's of the world, Floyd Mayweather's second version of Floyd. Love Shakur Stevenson. I like Lamont Roach. Dude, that Lamont Roach fight, boy, people are sleeping. Lamont Roach is in a big fight coming up. CBS made Johnny put Figueroa on his no vet list. No. Omar Figueroa. No. Brandon Figueroa? You know the story. It was the Ramos fight versus Omar. This was like 2021. Remember the odd CBS and Shock? My memory long. High interest, Johnny brother. What's up? Guys, I'm gonna roll out here. We got 60 of you savages in here. I'm gonna watch that. I got some props for the NBA. You know we got that NBA degenerate gambling. Hey, let me read you my props real quick for the NBA. So I'm playing. This starts in 4 minutes. This is a plus 6,200. This is a plus 600 bet. All right. This is my plus 600 bet for the game starts in 3 minutes. Case and Wallace, 3 steals, 2 threes. Wemby, 2 steals. Champagne, 3 threes. Lou Dort, 2 threes. Pays plus, damn, 6,200. Let's go, let's go, let's go, motherfucker. What's up, Rob? You just like valet. You ain't slick, Rob. I know what skills ain't slick. I know what skills is about, baby. Skills is an OG. Skills, you just like your cost. Who doesn't? Can we bet on Jessica Plata knockout? I'm not getting those odds. What's up, Emma Banana? We got a super chat in the house. Let's go support the home team. Thank you, high interest. Every dime goes a long way. You guys are amazing. That's the first super chat I got since the silent film era. I appreciate the support. However you guys can help me, like the video, subscribe. We're an hour and 6 in. There's 57 you in here. I'm going to go watch the NBA. I'm going to take this last question from a JSB insider from Gemma. The last question says, hey, Johnny, do you think Kevin Lorena is on upset alert? He is fighting in the opponent's backyard. So, Gemma, I'm going to do a little bit more film study. You'll have my pick tomorrow. This is a rematch. They have fought already. Lorena is traveling this time. So, it's a 50-50 fight. I think Lorena is a slight favorite on the odds now. I'll see you tomorrow on the live streams. I'll have my pick then. You guys are amazing. Thank you.